You feel for him. I almost cried for this dude.
Yeah, I rooted for some of his ideals, but not the whole picture.
Yeah, I was like, he's not wrong, but man, that's a long time to be carrying anger. You got to have some moments where you bite into a Krispy Kreme donut. And go, okay, that was nice.
Hey everyone, I wanted to personally welcome you to our first ever animated review here on doubletoasted.com. You know, this is something that we used to do a while back on another site, and we're bringing it back here. And I thought, what better way to do it than with a big event movie like Black Panther? And I wanted to get this out closer to the release of the movie, but I had some technical problems, so it's a few days later, but I do hope that you enjoy it, and it feels really good to get back into doing animation, which is my original career, my original passion, and I'm very proud to share that with you. I also want to thank our partners over at Cheap Charts. Cheap Charts is an app that all movie lovers should have, especially if you like to buy movies on iTunes, because over on iTunes, the prices, they change daily. But Cheap Charts allows you to put movies on a waiting list, and they'll notify you as soon as the price drops. So download the app and get the best prices now. Cheap Charts is available from iTunes and the Amazon store, and it's offered as both an iOS or an Android app. And most importantly, get the app using our link, crwd.click/cheapcharts. And now here's the review. And if you enjoy it, we hope to do more. Thanks. Disney with the black folks. It has been a long road from Uncle Remus to King T'Challa right there. It has all the ingredients of that epic story of the king that make them so popular in fantasy today, like Game of Thrones, or even about royalty, you know, history and royalty.
Sure.
Because with kings, you always get that reluctant king that's thrown into power. And he's thrown into power, and he's all, you know, he didn't want it anyway because he said, I don't want it because I'm going to try to do the right thing. Right. You know? Yeah. And anytime a king tries to do the right thing, somebody don't like it. And if he's doing a good job, then there's always that asshole that's going to challenge him or even try to kill him to take over. Chadwick Boseman, he is the least interesting character in the movie.
People around him that were just so much stronger. I mean, not acting wise, but just his characters and people who were willing to do, you know, like they were putting everything on the line, and he was still trying to be reserved and figure everything out. So that made his story a little bit more reserved.
And I'm like, you know, and at times you even question him. It's like, is this brother high? Because his eyes always have drooped, you know. And
right. I think he was concentrating on maintaining his accent.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to do this.
Yeah, this brother, I swear, you ain't seen him. He's behind a corner smoking something.
You know, high on that Panther juice.
Hey, man, that heart-shaped herb.
When they said this was a James Bond film, they weren't lying, man. I mean, to the point where they just
have
about
cube division in the
yeah, man. They pretty much rip off James Bond with this. Damn, that brother was late with that.
Bam! He was just about to hit his number.
Should I told you that brother was high? Because as I was saying, they give him gadgets that are made by his own personal Q. They have the cars.
And a big scene in a casino.
I know.
Gambling, and then followed by a car chase with a hot sports car, which they are pimping in real life. I mean, it was basic James Bond. I got what they were doing, and it's not what the film was about, so I was okay with it.
No, I appreciate your honesty, Mark, because there's a lot of black people outside waiting to beat your ass.
But no, when you're talking about the girls that are in here, I feel like they did an even better job than Wonder Woman did for me, because I felt like they actually had some kind of force behind them just outside of being a strong person. Like anytime they would walk in a room, they walked in with their heads held high, shoulders back, and they're like, all right, I'm in command of my domain. And they captured an African household with the woman being super in charge.
Oh, hell yeah. Don't let mama come in when you messing up. Boy, I told you, clean up this goddamn room. Don't tell you no more. Hey, mama, damn. Shut up while I'm watching my stories. The movie stands out because it chose to make Wakanda a living, breathing character of its own. And when you go there, you see that they've taken what we think about when we think about Africa, third world. They've kept that architecture, but have combined it with all this futuristic technology. I mean, fantasy technology. I was blown away by that, man. I've never seen that on this scale in any movie.
If I go to Africa, I'm gonna expect to see this.
You're gonna be disappointed.
Yeah, you're gonna be dressed like them.
For me, it addresses racism and colonialism without being preachy in it. You know, when they go in, they talk about racism worldwide, and even to a point where for a Disney movie, I was expecting them just kind of passively mention it. No, it's angry. Granted, the anger comes from the villain in the movie. You know, they're like, hey, you know, Marvel ain't gonna, these white folks in Marvel ain't gonna let you like make the Malcolm X of superheroes just yet. But they went as far as they could because they said, all right, you know, this brother, he's a villain, he's mad, he don't like white folks, but I get where he's coming from.
Yes.
Yeah, he's one of the most sympathetic villains they've had because you get it.
Yeah, you feel for him more than anyone. And they give him his moments where he's not being evil. They give him moments where they're tender, and you feel for him. I almost cried for this dude.
Yeah, I rooted for some of his ideals, but not the whole picture.
Yeah, I was like, he's not wrong, but man, that's a long time to be carrying anger. You got to have some moments where you bite into a Krispy Kreme donut and go, okay, that was nice.
His name is Killmonger.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a chance of happening.
Speaking of vibranium, man, they say that shit so much in the
A
movie.
billion fucking times, man. Vibranium, we have to find a vibranium. He said the vibranium. You don't understand, like, yo.
Vibranium was shorthand for a lot of shit. How'd you do that? Vibranium.
Vibranium might as well be magic.
Yeah,
It's close to it, man. It's like, all right, I get, like, all right, it operates like a metal, so it can do this, it can do that. But the second they start using it in, like, the medical field, it's like, what in the hell is happening with this jewel?
Motherfuckers put vibranium in their hair.
But yeah, it feels like, especially with that climax, you had this movie that was telling a massive story and it was being almost a geopolitical thriller. It kind of seemed like it was, all right, we got to get back to what we do as Marvel and make a superhero movie where it's just an all-out brawl at the end. And that was something that was disappointing for me. But outside of that, it wasn't much. I really wish I could give this a better than sex, but it is a solid full price. It's almost a better than sex, but it's not.
On top of everything you guys said, yeah, it was just too much of it is too predictable, especially in the first and third act. It's the second act where Michael B. Jordan comes in, where I was like, all right, now they're doing this. I didn't see coming. This is interesting. Now we got something, but it does kind of go out on that note of the big fight and things are wrapped up just too neatly. Still, I give it a low full price.
Do I think that this is a movie that told not one, but a lot of great stories well, or did it tell a lot of stories greatly? I think they did. Black Panther himself might not be the most interesting characters because just every character was so good. But do I think it's a great film? Hell yeah. Man, this is right behind it, Better Than Sex. Full price, man. I wish I could give this Better Than Sex, but I have to be fair. But it's right, it's knocking on that door. Danielle wants to spin off with Michael B. Jordan's chest.
I don't know how he managed to get bigger than he was in Creed, but he found a fucking way.
I know, man.
I was like, ah!
You know how? Vibranium.
Makes sense. You got it. Yeah, there you go.